But not long ago, the 3 channels suddenly stopped. Most likely to look at the 4 sides. I just saw that there was a big rock. Maybe it's the eye. Probably the most obvious feeling. Blood in this place. Doubt or look at her 3 questions. This is the gate you're talking about. That's right. 3 Pine also do not hesitate to quickly nod. But the smell of blood is so strong. Let him take a deep breath. Silently feel lucky. Fortunately, this time I have 3 friends with me. If not, even if you can get in here, maybe he will also die. It's only in this fantasy. But right now, again there's a sobbing cry. Most likely, turn around and look back. I just saw 3 pine necks leaning against a big stone pillar. I can't stop crying, tears on my face. It looks a little pitiful. See this scene. Most probably confused, not know what to do. Ask the little 3. What are you doing? Neck 3 pine shake head. But I can't stop crying. I don't know. I can smell it. I have just come close to feeling sad. Impossible to look at the pillar. The red giant in front of the most plastered. The terror of doubt or... What is this, after all? That's how many deaths it can hold. Fight like this. They also have the 12 most powerful lightning rods. With that destructive power, the code can still stand without falling. You can see it's really extraordinary. God is not a fool. The smell on this pole is so strong. People with sensitive noses, I can definitely find the way out. Thought and walked slowly towards it. Put your nose in and smell it. Again let him detect the strong spirit on the column. It's also about mixing with nature. It belongs to the beast. But suddenly he rolled his eyes in amazement. It's not that this taste is of the animals. Old age. The 5 great beasts of the world have no enemies. Even the Supreme Master did not dare to despise it. Only the 3 most powerful empires can compare to it. So this column is one of the 5 great animals. Ancient sky unicorn. One of the 5 great saints. It is also famous for 10 ancient times. I didn't expect to show up here. There is only 1 leg left. The one who killed him must be God. At this moment he finally realized. This place is clearly not a relic of God. It's the abattoir of God. Suddenly right now, the ground doesn't stop swaying. Make the most of getting rid of your own thoughts. Turn your head and look through the neck. And is risking his life to shake the Kier mast. So the whole space starts to shake. Death immediately struck down. But just hit it. The red spot suddenly turned to ash. Probably most afraid. What are you doing in a hurry to stop the 3 of you? It's like the red light is protecting us. It radiates from this foot of the unicorn. If it falls, we'll all die here. I don't want to see him beaten to death. I can't stand the sadness in my heart. Of the 3 pauses, the hand still does not stop crying. Hear this word. Most likely, suddenly stagnant. Think about what he said. For a long time he finally came out. Ancient 3 Pine is the descendant of the unicorn pulse. No blame born. Had a keen sense of force and smell. If your guess is correct, then there's an answer to everything. Just thinking about it, I should probably take a deep breath. In a soft heart. Go to touch the head. Minor 3 death. If you don't want to be in heaven, his soul grieves. Don't do that. I'm dead or not. But if you die, maybe this big pole will be sad too. At the ancient SAO3 looked suspicious, or asked. Most likely, he gently shook his head and laughed, because there's no one in this world who is willing to sacrifice, or his people, to die in such a wasteful manner. 3 people heard this word, with an incredible expression on his face. I mean, you're his kind. You dear sow. The softest nod is to say casually. I see this unicorn's leg will be struck by lightning. I feel sad in my heart. If he knew the unicorn leg he left behind. I can't protect you. Under 9. It won't be safe either. A deep glance at the surest. Neck 3 clear wipe away tears stopped completely. The strongest hand breathed a sigh of relief. Suddenly right now. The most likely is spitting out a sip of fresh blood again. On my pale face, falling to the ground. She looked at him in a hurry and screamed. Meaning sub. Most likely, wearing earrings, laughing out loud. Watch out even without knowing outside. I'm going to die in here too. 3 holes behind the eyes. Urgently worried say. Your wife will not have trouble. We just got married. He struggled to find someone who cared about him. But now I want to leave him. 3 pine neck in anguish again cry out loud. Most people would laugh at this scene and shake their heads. Finally, he took out a gender and gave her only 3 pints. Impaired speech minor 3 death. There is a world here. The medicine inside me left everything for you. I hope you grow up quickly. With my innate power vein. Maybe you'll find a way out of here. Neck 3 pine touching. Tears don't stop pouring out like the rain. Meaning sub. At this moment, I can't help but remember myself. A life of evil doesn't do much good. Before they die, someone is willing to cry. Because it also seems like a rare reward. If that was the case, if he dies this time, he will not regret it. Last time I thought, close your eyes. Tired body waiting for death to come near. 284 The first magic of God. Not the prodigy. Lady, the neck of the 3-year-old is crying loudly. 2 lines of tears just flowed out. Looks extremely pitiful. The worst part is rubbing his head. From within the spirit world, take the Baron's eggs out. Then whisper stop crying. Not dead yet. After I die afraid of you. Give this bird to me. And he hasn't finished yet. There are signs that it is beginning to crack. Most likely, I can't help but be startled. What was that about? Suddenly right now a long scream was heard. The eggshells start to crumble. From inside came a small bird. There is also lightning on you. It's just that it's a little different from the strident. Because the lightning it carries on you is the lightning. To make everyone here was afraid. A little bird came out. She's scared to run away. Step aside. On the contrary, the worst person to see this. I can't help but scream in amazement. He was born the most beautiful man in the world. A small bird has just been born with 2 eyes turned around to look at the 4 sides. Until you see the worst. I watched her become my mother. Happily waving to branches. Finally, the baby came to the man. Brush a few. Probably most surprised to see it. Finally burst out laughing. This time the kids are lost. The one with the most words is you. The usual stripe. It's a 6th-level beast at most. There is only normal lightning. You are buried in death. I don't know how much I will grow up. That's what people expect. But the 3-year-old is now hiding far away. Afraid of all the loud voices. Catch him. Don't let him near you. See this scene. I can't help but laugh and shake my head. 3 kids, what are you afraid of doing? The weight on him is the most important. Even the old man could not be injured. If you are me, I think this kid is my son. I am a nurse and I don't want to take care of you. Said and rubbed the little bird's head again. Go find the CA. When I heard this word, I was threatened. Hurry and shake your head. That bird, when he heard the words, he was happy to go to his neck. It scared him out loud. Don't come over here. Go out. Don't come over here. I am glad you played with you. Neck 3 emergency vent. Pick up a stone on the ground and throw it at the little bird. But it doesn't stop walking. Still moving towards him. His little face was a little pitiful. Panicked to cry. He hurriedly picked up stones on the ground he wanted to throw away. But this time he picked it up. What to do with his energy? There's a stone that won't lift. Neck 3 pine in fear, bite teeth, loud anger. A stone that dared to bully me. End words. I'm going to put a lot of gas in my hands and lift this rock. And it came back to a big stone. He didn't care to throw it straight at the little bird. Eat. Touch an hour. A large stone, powerful electricity to the ground, forming a large hole. The little bird was also frightened. Most likely, he looked at the stone, muttered in amazement. This is a photo album. Most likely I remember you smiling. I can't believe the rare devil that lives. The holy patriarch used to pass down the great technique, reappear in this great world. I picked up the treasure this trip. Thinking of this, he laughed. I can't help but get up and talk excitedly. The 3 of you broke that rock. Neck 3 pine stunned, not understand. Suppose he wants to point the beard at the beech tree. He bowed his head. If you want to scold me, scold me. Really, you shouldn't have used such a big stone to throw it. If you take him as a son, he will be your brother. That's too much for you to do. You don't need a raw stone to curse. Most likely, he laughed and looked at him. I know the error wants to be corrected. The lady is very happy. But I really don't mean to scold you. I really need you to break this rock for me. Neck 3 pine here, not scolded, to eyes light up. Even though I don't understand what it means to break it. But it can save you. He doesn't mind either. Thought immediately happily went to the side of the laughing stone. Ra is like that. If that's what you say, I will. A right to strike down around an hour, the Kir immediately broke into pieces. And then came the full-color weapons, forming a fog. Now in the fog a shadow appeared. Just over 20 years old. But his face was extremely serious. Most likely, he looked at the person in front of him screaming. The head of the 10 ancient emperors. The person has a calm face. Eyes from above looking down. Gently open your mouth, young teen. If you are lucky enough to open your eyes, then you are one of my people. God will give it to you. The first miracle of God. Smart prodigy. Most people can't help laughing when they hear this. I really got a good deal this time, hey ha ha ha. It is said that God is the strongest of the three. He's got 2 great psychic schools. Left eye scrunchies Kimai. The right eye is not magic. Is the divine vision of heaven beyond. Kim label lightning. Not the prodigy. That's the magic in the arts. Focus on a word. No, it's not. Hu Dung was the great thing wrong, not everything is impossible. The image of the gods sitting seriously, each word by word carefully explained. Most likely, listen carefully. I dare not ignore a moment. Neck 3 pine and small bird. I know this is important to you. Quiet sitting next to you. Roughly continuous BA days, BA nights. Most of all, I'm staring at the image of God. Listen carefully. My eyes didn't blink a bit. Next to the worst for 3 days. 3 pine neck cannot help but visit the little bird's ear. It's been 3 days and 3 nights. She doesn't even blink. But right now, God breathed again after a moment of silence. The teacher has completed the transmission practice of the 12 major non-Ming prodigies. If you have heart, there is a God of heaven. It's invincible for our people. What about the second miracle of God? The word Kimai is the word not clear, this prodigy that Ra. If you have wisdom, no need to explain. I will definitely be enlightened later. If you are good, the rest of the picture is arranged. I will help you practice. But maybe your success stops at this step. I'm not sure if it's great. Take it from me, take care of yourself. Words just finished. The image immediately disappears. You can't see it. Only the image of the crumbling rock lying on the ground. It's become a scrap metal. I can only hear the last word of God. 2 eyes turn around thinking, frown. 3 people look at this scene. When the hell asked you what you did? Probably shaking his head. Are you still clinging to me? I just don't quite understand that person's last sentence. There seems to be no hope. Follow up to the death of Kim eyewitness. I can't help but think of Long 9. Who complains a sentence? 9CACA really don't know what to say. Are you lucky or unlucky? She didn't say 2 words. I'm very happy to say that. If you want to train children, I will find out to help you now. Probably think a little. Laughed and shook his head. You don't need it, kid. That gold eye has no charm for me. Something. The worst in my heart is still a little doubtful. Clear image in retrospective jelly. He left it to his family. Why did it come here? More for a queen. They are born like why. There's also this unicorn leg. You always seem to have a feeling. It's a strange coincidence. She three listened to his nod. But I can't help asking. But the meaning? It's based on no magic. Can you heal the wound? Your wounds are caused by death. If you ever get a needle, is that the way to heal wounds? I hear he cares about me. I feel the warm water flowing out, touching endlessly. But this child is deceiving. But they care about him so much. That's what people love. I think it is most likely to laugh. A waving hand wants of 3 pins. The little bird in front of me. Speak up. No, 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 this genius is enough. Little 3, and you too, I will call you Uncle Nee. Now we have to put up a retreat. Practice healing wounds. I don't know when I can leave. You to outside, don't get too far from me. You have to protect yourself for good. My son, I will take care of you. The words are the most certain. They immediately arranged a defensive battle. Without saying 2 words, go inside. Slowly close your eyes. 285 Not my first-rate prodigy. Time has passed, I don't know how long. Neck 3 Pine outside is constantly chasing. A mouse muttered endlessly. Where to run? This guy has been holding you for so long. Let me taste what you smell. Right now. The most powerful man in the world once again opened his eyes. The sky outside is the same. The lightning doesn't stop beating down. It's a powerful weapon coming out of him. At the same time, his death is hidden at the present time. Fluorescent pigment. Put your hands up and take the fight back. He stood up and screamed, creating a bombardment. You can hear the movement. You can turn your head. I saw him coming out of the fog. He immediately happily rushed to the side. The last one is out. Are your wounds healed? Probably the most smiling. Looking at the neck, the 3 threads said no. And the power is growing. I am now. I can lead you both out of this hell. Don't shake your face a few times. Neck 3 Pine Boo lips. Women who want to lie. Can you be a little realistic? 5 years ago people. It's just that from the core segment 5 insects break through to 9 insects. May he lead us out. I rely on the sun. Listen to hear. Probably the most amazing thing to do, right? It's been 5 years. Not waiting for him to react. Neck 3 clear up midair to strip knee. You're out. According to his screams. Most likely, people look up at the sky. A big bird flying through the air. The lightning doesn't stop hitting him. But it doesn't affect speaking. See this scene. He rolled his eyes in amazement and cried out. Uncle Ni, this is Uncle Ni Sao. He's a level 4 beast. And again, the lightning on you has also become for heavenly forms. But there are a lot of lugs outside. The lowest is 12. Is it okay to hit him? I was worried at first. But maybe it's the same source of death. She shrugged her shoulders casually. The lightning struck him. It's basically going to be absorbed by it. The energy that is not absorbed will be absorbed by it. Auto dissipation out. It has no effect on the body. See this scene. Most likely, he died for a moment. He had a monster. Now even Respet is a monster. But now he's also in the monster line. Even if you face the neck 3 pine, maybe it could surprise him too. Think about here. Most definitely looking at the neck 3 pine happily laughing. Hey ha ha ha, I gave you all the medicinal herbs to eat. Neck 3 small abdominal palpation. The corners of his mouth slackened and said, I've eaten it all before. I haven't eaten medicine in 3 years. It's going to be malnourished. Most likely, he laughed. Why don't you take them out now? And she's 3 pouting contemptuously. Put your head up in the sky. Stop it, new guy. Scene 5. Even if it's healing, people are breaking through too slowly. I still want to take it away. He's not afraid of death. He's got his way out. Then you can let it bring back the medicine. I was despised by this boy. Maybe a little angry looking at him. This little boy is clearly despising Lao Tzu. Give me a right. Let me see my current strength. I have to let you know that Vi means everything. 3-year-old accidentally raises his eyebrows when the hell looks at him. I don't want to. This is your right. Even the master of magic couldn't stand it. Don't say this guy. Even the sky hasn't broken through yet. Stop talking nonsense. Most likely put on your hands again, yelling. The 3-year-old couldn't stop him from sighing. Let's just say that. The 3-year-old agreed. But in my heart I kept telling myself, this father is too stubborn. He can only play with him. But absolutely must control the power well. Just don't hurt him. He can only use one finger. Neck 3 pine inspired waiter playing. Stretching fingers gently shoot out a little force. But most likely, they didn't shy away. Just stand there calmly. Neck 3 pine looked not out of urgency. Hurry up and shout for help. Take that Vi of Y. Although he reduced his power, but he does not shy away. It will not be lightly damaged. But I didn't wait for him to worry. In the eyes of the world suddenly, there's a yellow glow. After a moment of the most extraordinary disappear in the blink of an eye. Waiting to appear went to the back of 3 pine. No, the first miracle is the transformation. The most obvious is a smile. Neck 3 eye-rolling amazement. How can you? In the blink of an eye, he can't feel it at all. The existence of the greatest evil. It's like he's gone. I didn't even wait for her to regain her spirit. He shouted for an hour. My son, I also guess one of my rights. Even if he was a little surprised. But he still doesn't believe he can beat him. Pout your lips again. Your father can hide. Like your fist to me, really. But he didn't stop at thunder. A martyr hurled momentarily towards him. Don't be afraid to hide. Wait until the explosion. I can't believe the most certain side of the world. Stuttering auxiliary meaning. Why people can also emit this lightning. Hey ha ha ha, this is the power of the illustrious. Laughing for an hour. Not with satisfaction. No, this miracle is a big no. It's mainly the use of space magic. Not the first miracle. Permutation topography. We can take the space field that our original gods could probe. Azimuth swapping can let itself reach velocity. Or is. Let some things die. You can't resist change. He said, give me a soft hand. Yellow pupils flashing animation. Only in the hands of 3. Back to the west. 3 if the medicine is eaten. I recovered this ring first. It also works later. Look at it all. 3 Pine Neck cannot help rolling his eyes and mouth in amazement. Finally happy to speak up like that. Say you're not a champion. Because no AI can beat people. Most likely a small nod. Touch your chin, you can say that. But it's not entirely accurate. If not, the first child prodigy won. So what do you do with the remaining 11 insects? In fact, this is the use of space. If once the space is sealed off, or within the boundary, then it's over. What are those things? She opened her mouth and trembled. Most probably laughing out loud. The right pupil flashed and disappeared. After practicing the first non-Ming prodigy, the left eye can open up a space. I was hit by those guys before. In the body raging. Not excluded. Now, it's possible to transport these things into space. Even when it is important, it can become a weapon. That's why I said that the Vi cannot represent the real force. Adopted to 186 out. Most likely, he grinned softly, but she frowned blankly on the contrary. He doesn't think about. 5 years have passed. His side has evolved to this extent. But didn't wait for him to be amazed. Most likely I remember you saying that. Because healing and cultivation, I don't know if it takes more than half the time. That makes the Vi not flourishing. But real power is different. Neck 3 Pine Scene. The magical power of the illustrious. The childish nature resurfaces. Can't wait to ask. And what's the second sign of that miracle? Come on, show me. The most obvious face is a little red. It's hard to say no. This coin is very difficult to practice. I only train to be the first. The second one is still undiscovered. He has not yet said the old sentence 3 Pine already 7 Psi Hope. Probably the most obvious. The surgeon scratched his head and laughed for an hour. This kid is doing this change 7 often. But very quickly he said, the news excited him. But not Min. My miracle is only the first. But the same source with this boundary. I can totally take you out. Minor 3 Death. I can eat the medicine outside again. That's great. Ancient Three Pine excitedly jumps up. Restore the happy mood. I'm sure this guy is happy again. Crying and laughing, watching him laugh for an hour. I finally reached out my hand and pointed at the spirit world. I put you in my ring now. Don't resist. I can take you outside in a little while. Lord Ni saw the world suddenly excited. Glad to wave wings. Probably the most transparent. He must have felt the smell of his mother. Should be new like that. The third one is a little hesitant. Towards the shore, the best hand said, "Your father was waiting for you a moment ago." And then run to the side of the celestial pulse. Kneeling on the ground. Sincerely say, "Although I don't know who you are, but I just met you." There was a sense of friendliness coming from within. I don't know why you died, but for your death, I feel so hurt again. Now we have to go. There's only one person left here. No, no one is with you anymore. I hope you take care," he said, turning the man to the side. The worst of all, into the spirit world. Probably most people look at him like that. A little compassion emerges. Looking up at the big pillar, Kier sighed. Around the unicorn, I'm probably not a good person. More unwilling to participate in the between you and God. The foot of the unicorn is rare in the world. It's really precious. Than any geologic genius. Maybe we can't make memories. But the side meaning of this child. I wish I could do something about it. Take a deep breath. Most likely the world screams a permutation. Finally hit the big pole. Rumbling one, the sound of the pole swaying, one immediately fell down. The lightning in the sky continues to wreak havoc. It smells like fresh blood. Chun rushed to the strongest side of the world. I want to tear it into pieces. But most probably not confused. Hands up. Immediately brought unicorn legs into the world only. The Kier lightning struck down. The one on the right flashed a yellow light. Disappear without seeing it. Waiting to appear again. Is thousands of martyrs dragged towards him hitting down. But in the blink of an eye he's gone nowhere to be seen. Just like that. Not even the corner of his shirt was touched. Wait until you reach the end of the world. His right pupil flashed again. He immediately disappeared, blinking out. Until you get outside. Probably the most fun to take a deep breath. Enjoy the outside air. Laughing out loud at last. I just don't know where this is. Right now, raise your hand. Take her 3 pine and strip her from the world only out. The boy saw the outside for the first time. Happy singing for 2 hours. Especially the 3 pine neck locked in the lightning rod. 5 years later, I was able to go outside and eat medicine. He's happier. It's finally out. Suddenly, the most obvious way to the neck is 3 waves. Showing a smile of pride. Third son, I have a gift for you. I don't understand her a little bit. But still slowly step in front of him. It's hard to ask the opposite. Why are you hiding the medicine? Not without laughing for an hour. Most likely, he shook his head and laughed. You idiot, the medicine will soon be eaten. But this thing is in your heart. More precious than medicine. And he said, Put your hands on your feet. Unicorn inside the relic of heaven suddenly appeared. I also carry Theo Kwang on my feet.